Hey guys, I'm Mark from Porsche Sport and welcome to Game Week 17 of the Premier League review. If you are new to this series, what we do is we take a look at the past set of Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table and finish off by looking at the Premier League top goal scorers. So here is a list of the past set of Premier League results along with their times in this video. If you want to hear about a specific game, just go to the time next to the game and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. And we start with Middlesbrough versus Swansea. The game was pretty tight for the first 20 minutes, but it was Middlesbrough who took the lead in the 18th minute when their top scorer this season, Alvaro Negredo, got the goal. It came when Adam Clayton turned his man on the left wing and sends the ball into the big Spaniard, and Negredo was able to volley low past the keeper. And 10 minutes later, Middlesbrough would have the perfect chance to double their lead when they were given a penalty. It came when Jordi Amat clumsily tripped Adam Forshaw in the box and the referee rightly pointed to the spot. Negredo stepped up to take it and he placed the ball left as he got his and Middlesbrough's second. Middlesbrough would put the game to bed in the 58th minute when they got their third. It came when Gaston Ramirez played a perfect ball into the box that confused all of the Swansea defence and Martin de Roon cushioned the ball past the keeper. And that is how the game would end, a fine win for Middlesbrough, getting only their 4th of the season. And I'm pretty sure this is their biggest win of the season as well. I'm not too sure about that one. But anyway, a good win for Middlesbrough, and after conceding 3 midweek, Swansea concede 3 this week yet again. And if they continue like this, then they are in serious danger of heading down into the Championship. And we move on to Stoke versus Leicester. The first bit of action in this game came when Jamie Vardy got himself sent off, and yet again we see referees favouring the bigger teams in the league, which is bullshit. Yes, Vardy does leave the ground for the tackle, but 1, it wasn't a 2-footed tackle, and 2, he got the ball. If you compare this tackle to Marcos Rojo's tackle this past 2 weeks, and I told you that one of these got sent off, obviously you think Rojo got sent off, but of course not. All you have to do is complain that referees don't give anything, and you can get away with anything. But in the 39th minute, Stoke would have the perfect chance to go ahead when they were given a penalty. But this one, Leicester can't complain about, as this one was an actual foul. Bojan stepped up to take it, and with a little stutter in his run, he sends the ball into the bottom corner. And Stoke would double their lead just before half-time when the well-shavvy Joe Allen got on the score sheet. It came when Stoke have a free kick, and Gianelli Imbula, probably butchered that. Imbula strikes the ball and it comes off of the post, hits Kasper Schmeichel on the head, and it falls kindly into the path of Joe Allen, who was able to tap into the empty net. But Leicester wouldn't go down without a fight, as in the 74th minute, Leonardo Ijoa got Leicester back into it with his very first touch of the ball. It came when he put the ball towards the goal and Ryan Shawcross cleared it off the line. Or that's what we thought. Goal line technology actually showed that the ball went over the line and the goal was given. And would you believe it, 10 men Leicester without their star striker would equalise the scoring in the 88th minute when Daniel Amati converted. It came when Christian Fuchs played a cross into the box and Daniel Amati rose highest and converted the ball with his head. And that is how the game would end. Stoke, how have you not won this game comfortably? You had the man advantage, had the majority of the possession in the first half, but in the second half, Leicester absolutely battered Stoke. They had the majority of the ball and they had the better chances and they deservedly came away with a point. And we move on to Bournemouth versus Southampton. The first 5 minutes of this game was end-to-end stuff, with both teams looking strong and looking like it could go either way. But it was Bournemouth who took the lead in the 6th minute through Nathan Ake. It came when the ball is crossed deep from a corner and it finds Jack Wilshere. The Arsenal loanee then dinks it to the Chelsea loanee, and Nathan Ake was able to convert from a diving header past Fraser Forster. But their lead wouldn't last long, as 10 minutes later Southampton would equalise with their first shot on target. It came when Ryan Bertrand twists and turns on the left hand side of the Bournemouth area before being given the space to strike the ball past Artur Boruc to put Southampton level. After the hectic start to this game, the rest of the half died down a lot and the teams went into the break 1-1. But just like the first half, the second half to this game also got off to a big start, as in the 48th minute Southampton, who were 1-0 down, went 2-1 up. It came when Southampton play the ball around the box and it ends up with Sofiane Boufal. He then backheels it to Stephen Davis. The Northern Irishman then makes his way into the Bournemouth box before dinking the ball into the 6-yard box, where Jay Rodriguez was waiting, and he's able to convert from close range. And Southampton would put the game to bed in the 85th minute when they got their 3rd goal and Jay Rodriguez bagged his 2nd. It came when Nathan Redmond darted down the left. He's actually tackled, but the ball falls perfectly for Jay Rodriguez, who turns and smacks the ball past Artur Boruc from about 20 yards out. And that is how the game would end. Southampton deserved winners in the end, as Bournemouth just didn't seem up for it, but Southampton were, and they move up to 7th over the Christmas period. And we move on to Manchester City versus Arsenal. It wouldn't take long for this one to get going, as in the 5th minute Arsenal broke the deadlock through Theo Walcott. It came when Hector Bellerin found Alexis Sanchez, who was given a ton of space to turn and pass straight to Theo Walcott, who simply put the ball past Claudio Bravo. But Manchester City would equalise 2 minutes into the second half when their summer signing Leroy Sané got his first goal for Manchester City. It came out of nowhere when Petr Cech looks to boot the ball up from a goal kick, but the ball is won back by City in the midfield, and David Silva plays an early ball over the top, and Leroy Sané latches onto it and beats Petr Cech easily. He did look a little bit offside though, but it was so tight I can't really blame the linesman for getting it wrong. And Manchester City would complete the comeback, as in the 71st minute they took the lead through Raheem Sterling. It came when Kevin De Bruyne pulls off the pass of the season. When he received the ball from a throw-in, he has his back towards the goal, he swivels, plays the perfect pass over the top to Sterling. Sterling was able to get inside Monreal onto his stronger left foot, and he smashed the ball past Petr Cech. City deserved a goal just because of Kevin De Bruyne's pass. Jesus Christ, Kevin. And that is how the game would end. Arsenal really poor in this one. They only recorded 1 shot on target this entire game, and now they've lost 2 in a row for the first time this season. It's normally November in which they always struggle, but it's December this season. But a big win for Manchester City. They got behind the Arsenal defence and they saw what Arsenal were doing in the first half, and they copied it, and it's worked for them. And this result lifts Manchester City above Arsenal in the league. And we move on to Tottenham versus Burnley. In the 21st minute, one of these teams took the lead, but it wasn't the one that you all expected, as it was Burnley who surprisingly went ahead at White Hart Lane. It came when the ball is bouncing around in the Tottenham box and they have 4 chances to clear it, but they fail every time, and when George Boyd put the ball back into the middle, it bounced off of Moussa Dembele and fell right into the path of Ashley Barnes, who scored past Hugo Lloris. But the lead wouldn't last long, as 5 minutes later Tottenham equalised when Dele Alli got the goal. It came when Kyle Walker had the ball on the right and the Burnley defence don't close him down. He was given a mountain of time to pick out Dele Alli with a cross, and Ali converts with a left-footed volley. And in the 71st minute, Tottenham would take the lead through their left-back, Danny Rose. And it came with a bit of controversy. Moussa Sissoko is actually involved in a goal when he sprints through the middle of the pitch on the counter-attack. He finds Danny Rose in a ton of space. He takes one touch to slow the ball before banging the ball in at the near post. And now on to the controversy. Moments before this, Moussa Sissoko should have been sent off, as the ball is bouncing. He goes for a challenge and he catches a Burnley player extremely high, like on the thigh high. That's how high we're talking. He is a lucky boy. And that is how the game would end. Another typical away trip for the Burnley bunch, as they are still without a win away from home this season. But Tottenham come away with all 3 points, and deservedly so, as in the entire game they had a massive 30 shots, but they only had about 9 on target. And we move on to the Merseyside derby, Everton versus Liverpool. In this Merseyside derby, it was the definition of a game of 2 halves. In the first half, Everton were all over their rivals, and they were unlucky not to go into the half-time break 1-0 up. But as soon as the second half started, it was a completely different story. Liverpool were the better side of the second half, and they had the better chances. This game had 8 minutes of stoppage time at the end due to an injury to the Everton keeper Martin Stekelenburg, which he ate up far too much time. Now you may be wondering, Mark, why are you talking about how much stoppage time was added? Well, I'll tell you why. Because in the 94th minute, Liverpool took the lead. It came when Daniel Sturridge took a shot from outside of the box. The ball strikes the post, and Sadio Mane was Johnny on the spot and was the quickest to respond to the loose ball, and he was able to tap into the empty net. And that's how the game would end. A bit harsh on Everton, to be fair, as in the first half they should have been ahead in the game, but they couldn't capitalise on their chances, and all it took was one shot that hit the post for Liverpool to snatch all 3 points from Goodison Park. And this result puts Liverpool second over Christmas. And we move on to West Brom versus Manchester United. It wouldn't take long for this one to get going, as with the first shot on target, Manchester United would took the lead, and it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic who got the goal. It came when Jesse Lingard gets the ball on the right and whips in a cross that the big Swede gets his head onto and converts from about 8 yards out. And United would double their lead in the 56th minute when Zlatan Ibrahimovic doubled his tally and Manchester United's tally at the same time. It came when Zlatan flicked the ball between 2 West Brom defenders before striking the ball into the net via a deflection. And that is how the game would end. West Brom and Manchester United both battling out for 6th, but it was Manchester United who got the 3 points from this one, and they ended West Brom's recent run of form and are starting to gather momentum themselves, with this being their 3rd Premier League win in a row. And we move on to Crystal Palace Palace versus Chelsea. You'd expect Crystal Palace to be blown away in this one, but they were giving Chelsea a run for their money in the first half, and at times they looked like they could score. But it was Chelsea who took the lead in the 43rd minute when Diego Costa got his 13th Premier League goal of the season. It came when Eden Hazard played the ball into Azpilicueta, who crosses the ball right onto the head of Costa, who converts perfectly over Wayne Hennessy. And that's how the game would end. A pretty boring game in all honesty. Palace started the second half strong, but as the half went on, Chelsea got back into it and probably should have added more. Palace did well to shut down Costa, and he didn't have many chances in the game. But with this result, Chelsea have now won 11 games on the bounce, equaling a club record. If they win at Bournemouth on Boxing Day, they set a new record for Chelsea. But Palace are quite the opposite, only winning 3 games in 11, and I can't see Alan Pardew surviving for much longer. And we move on to Sunderland versus Watford. First half of this one was dead, no real chances for either team, but the second half wouldn't be the same, as only 4 minutes into the second half, Sunderland took the lead through Patrick van Aanholt. It came when Adnan Januzaj slid a ball through to Jermaine Defoe, who then put the ball into the Watford box, and Patrick van Aanholt was on the end of it, who sends the shot home via the post. And that's how the game would end. Another pretty boring game, but nonetheless Sunderland come away with the win. Nothing else that I can really add to that one. And finally, we've got West Ham versus Hull. Yet another boring first half. This week was pretty dire, actually. A few chances in this one, a few woodwork hits and stuff, but the first bit of action worth talking about came in the 76th minute when West Ham won a penalty. It came when Tom Huddlestone brought down Mikel Antonio in the box and Marky Noble stepped up to take the penalty. He sent the keeper the wrong way and he converted in the opposite corner. And that is how the game would end. Pretty harsh on Hull because the penalty was very, very soft on them, and with another ref it definitely wouldn't have been given. But nonetheless, West Ham moved 5 points clear of the bottom 3 over Christmas, and Hull slip to the bottom of the pile. Right, so that's all the fixtures I've got for you this week. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Starting with the top 5, and as you can see, it is Chelsea who topped the table over Christmas, and every time they've been on top at Christmas, they've went on to win the league. Liverpool are second following their win over their local rivals Everton. Manchester City are third after beating Arsenal. Speaking of Arsenal, they are fourth following that loss, and Tottenham make up the top 5 following their win against Burnley. Moving on to the bottom 5, and as you can see, Hull are bottom of the table following their loss to West Ham this week. Swansea are 19th after losing to Middlesbrough. Sunderland climb off the bottom after beating Watford. Crystal Palace are 17th following their loss to league leaders Chelsea. And Burnley make up the bottom 5 after their loss at Tottenham. So let's move on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Diego Costa is on the top, adding another goal to his tally. Alexis Sanchez is second, still on 12 goals as he didn't score this week. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is up to third on 11 goals, scoring 2 this week. Sergio Aguero is fourth on 10 goals, and Romelu Lukaku makes up the top 5 on 9 goals and 3 assists. Right, so that's all I've got for you this week. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back on Thursday the 29th of December for the next episode of the Premier League review. This is actually the last time that I'll speak to you until Christmas, so from me, Jack Hancher, we hope you have a merry fucking Christmas, you gorgeous bastards. But if you want to make my Christmas, be sure to follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. The links to both are in the description down below. All my channels should be popping onto your screen round about now. But once again, I hope you have a merry Christmas. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I'll see you soon.